Hell yeah. Wolfgang Hunter's on the pod, folks.
Hey, folks.
He's here. Long-awaited guest, Wolfgang
Long way to.
Hunter.
They've been asking.
Dude, they've been in the DMs. They've been
Pleading.
going, we need a man named after a fucking mythic beast, you know?
Yeah.
Or
Or steakhouse.
a steakhouse, yeah. Or, a soup guy. Chef.
Oh, yeah, he does do soups, too.
He does, yeah, I think I know him as the soup
Mhm.
guy.
There's also a pet store down the street from here called Wolfgang, like a WOOF.
The pun.
The pun.
Yeah, man. The dog stores, I feel like, are the ones that get in on the puns the most.
They do.
They really like fucking get after it on the puns because
It's
they
that
just
and
know
like
people.
weed chops.
Yeah, weed chops here though are just like the ones that it's just like the same thing over and over.
Yeah,
again.
like Weed Hub and the Pornhub font.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll get something like Zaza City or like the Loud Room.
Yeah, or the gas station.
The gas station's another good one.
Yeah. Well, you just dropped a special. Let's plug that up top.
Yeah, let's plug that up top. I'm with her on YouTube, on my YouTube, Wolfgang Hunter.
Yeah.
It's a fun special. Put a lot of work into it. My buddy Spilly Cave and I, we wrote the music for it. Probably 80% him, 20% me. But
Hey, dude.
he's a really good musician online. Does a lot of great jazz stuff. And then, there's some sketches in there, too. So there's some other people. If you don't like me, well, you might like some of my friends. So it's a joint effort. Everybody got to touch the rock.
That's good. Yeah. You guys did a 3-man weave on this thing.
Yep. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. What was the? How big of a Hillary fan were you to name it after her?
Not even really at all. My girlfriend was like a campaign supporter in college, and she had one of the shirts, and I would just like wear it around because I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
And then I started wearing it for like a job where I worked for this company called Kolschi, and I would just like go to Trump rallies and Kamala rallies and interview
really?
people. Yeah, for like a little bit, for like 2 months, 3 months. I was like,
like serious shit, or were you like
Nah,
trying to
just-
clown? You're
just-
trying to clown them?
No, actually, just kind of trying to like promote the fucking service that they used through silly questions and stuff. It was just a good way to get people to want to talk to you because like they immediately think you're like with the Daily Show or something like that.
Oh yeah.
And then you go like,
Wait,
oh
what
no,
was the app? Well, what was it?
Kolschi.
What is that?
It's like a betting service where you bet on real life events, and they were like somewhat like just kind of under the radar for a while, but then they like gained through like legal appeals and I think going all the way through the Supreme Court like a legal monopoly on election betting, which is incredibly immoral. Like,
Holy shit!
because it does have
Oh yeah, I saw that. Like, so you could just straight up bet that was like a huge thing.
that was them.
That was them.
There's other companies doing it, but they paid you out in crypto because they were illegal companies that couldn't pay you in U.S. tender. So we did cash payouts. I don't know why I said we. Like they would give me like $1,000 and be like, yeah, I'm poor, I'll do it.
Wow. Wait, I guess why would that be illegal? Because you could like potentially.
In the words
influence
of
it?
a Trump voter I talked to, betting sways the votes of the feeble-minded. That's what she spit at me.
Oh, really?
And then she spit
Damn,
at
that's
me.
awesome.
She did not like me.
Oh, fuck.
Her kids were nice though.
Wow. I really like that lady.
Yeah,
That
she was
lady
funny.
rules.
I don't know if she made the cut of any of the videos we put out. I never looked at any of this stuff really all
Yeah.
that well. But I mean, like, yeah, I wore glasses, and sometimes I wore the Kolschi hoodie and like,
Sure.
just dressed like a dork.
Man, how much money was bet on the election this year?
Like, I think like in terms of they like bet almost, I think more than the U.S. population in millions of dollars. It was like the U.S. population is like 380 something million.
Yeah.
Their betting pool was like $400 million.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was like a Powerball. It was insane. They made so much money from the election. And I don't know. It was just then they fired nobody was really hired. We were just independent contractors.
But like after the election's over, like what else are you doing with
They
that?
had some plans, but they're like, let's just get these guys off the payroll.
Yeah.
And they just fucking snipped
Yeah.
everything.
When I moved here, I had these like man on the street videos I did when I was in Portland.
Yeah.
Like during the pandemic when comedy really wasn't happening. So I went to like a Trump rally and I went to a Proud Boy rally and I like covered some of the protests like during George
Yeah.
Floyd. And when I got here.
And then Andrew Callahan said, "That's my thing, buddy."
I ran into him.
You think
in
you can
Portland.
be a curly haired guy? And
Truly, he talked shit about me on his Instagram.
There's a guy doing my thing.
He was like, I know there's a bunch of dudes biting my style. He actually was. I'll give him credit. He was actually cool. He was like, yo, dude, I know there's a bunch of people biting my style, but I think it's cool that people are doing this. So like, that's fine, basically. So he kind of did like both like fuck people, but. It's
he played it Diplomatico style.
But then he got caught up.
He did get caught up. Sean Gardini was telling me he's a cool guy, though, in real life. He said he's chill. And,
lots of sex pests can be chill.
They can be chill.
I don't know. I feel like sex pests can be sometimes chill guys.
Yeah. I don't know. I never really like got into the nitty-gritty of what that case was about, but it was just...
I think it was probably more like less... Well, actually, I don't know.
To me, I don't know. I make a lot of inferences, and it makes people mad. It just seems like a thing where it's like a guy being annoyed at the bar, like, "Come on, let's fucking have a van," and then it's like, I guess, and then this guy travels for work, and he's like a big shot, so he obviously ghosted these women. So it's like, yeah, fuck this guy. I'm gonna like fucking.
Yeah, when he got his, maybe. I feel like, yeah, like one of them, maybe. I think he definitely was, like, basically kind of a loser with women. Mm-hmm. And he was like, come on, yeah, like, just, like, pestering. But I feel like the one I read about, it was, like, more, he basically, like, nagged her so badly into sex that she, like, did it and then was like, this was not what I wanted to do.
Oh,
bro.
Damn, dude.
So like
the war of attrition of being
like
a loser.
straight up like grinded her down. So I don't know if that's like illegal, but
I don't know. I mean,
not
that's
like the
I was
vibe you want.
I was an annoying pest to my girlfriend, and now we have a lovely apartment. We love each other.
You're the Andrew Callahan of of this neighborhood.
I'm gonna be honest. I think it's just I think he's ugly. I think that's sort of what it is.
He's not an attractive man.
I think
if he's like a 4, I probably was like a 6. And so he was probably maybe a little mad.
Yeah, he was like, this is just hot meat.
This is like, and hot meat is just average meat.
Yeah, that's what I feel like when I see fucking like Kit Harington or some like dark-haired swarthy guy on TV. I'm like, oh damn, if I wasn't like short and fucking busted up in the face, I'd probably be. But I'm like just enough to where I feel like, I can be a little annoying. I think there's a line where it's like if you're somewhat handsome, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think
like
the hotter you are, well, first of all, the hotter you are, I can't imagine you feel it's not as a grinding down feeling for the woman because you're like, oh, he's hot.
Like, where would the world be if Luigi Mangione looked like Andrew Callahan?
I mean, everybody said this, but like no women were like, dude, it was so hot when that guy tried to kill Trump.
Yeah,
because he looked like a
he
fucking
looked like
frog,
a GameStop
dude.
guy.
Yeah, like he was so ugly. I don't remember a single woman be like, it was really hot that he did that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of where it would have been if Luigi was just some guy. And basically, if Luigi looked like any other Luigi, he was,
it'd be fucked.
If he was just the big chunker Italian guy, but because he was like a hot guy, then women were like, we want, him inside of us. But yeah, Andrew, I don't know. I knew that there's this girl who I don't know if she still does porn, but she did porn. And I met her at like a show here in New York, and she has like a pretty big like one of those porn podcasts.
Oh, is she like a retired porn star that kind of just does the like inside the NBA of porn?
But she was pretty young, so I think she was like only in porn for a little bit.
Who listens to those podcasts like full length eps?
Truly,
like,
I would imagine. I've only seen the clips, and
that's what I'm saying. Like, it has to only exist as clips.
The clips are boring because it's either like, it's basically like if they're interviewing a lady porn star, it's like, what's the wildest thing you've ever done? And then if it's a guy, they're like, you have a big dick. Like, it's like, I don't know what else you could.
It's like very surface level questions.
Well, what are you gonna ask them about? Fucking the meaning of life? Like, what are they like? The fans,
what kind of music do you listen to?
The losers fans who listen to that shit are like, dude, I'm getting the inside scoop on like my favorite chick. I mean, I can't imagine it's many women listening to that. I think it's got to be.
I would say it's negative women.
Negative women.
Yeah, like you have some trans men listening that sets the number even back.
Yeah.
Further.
But I saw a clip of her randomly, like not that long ago. And the only reason I started talking to her at this show is because this was pre Andrew Callahan sex allegations. He did like he dropped like a merch line. I think it was like their first merch line. So it was like kind of when he was really starting to get pretty big.
Yeah.
And she was a model in the photo shoot.
Oh.
She's kind of like she's like a redhead girl. So I was like I was like, did you do like a photo shoot with Channel 5? And she was like, yeah.
The funniest thing to recognize.
She was like, yeah. I was like, oh. And then like I found out that she was like a porn star. I don't know, but she does one of these podcasts, and like randomly in my algorithm, her thing popped up, and they were talking shit about Andrew about how she still is owed money, I think, from that photo shoot. It was so weird.
Incredible.
So she was like, fuck him still. I was like, all right, well, I guess he hasn't totally cleared his name.
Yeah, but you can kind of get away with being a cheapskate and like a miser.
It is funny though to like, cause he had to do a whole rehab tour, but he didn't like want to like sew up that little part of it.
It was like, wow, the check's clear.
Yeah,
you know?
like we're good. Like,
sorry, the money's already spent. I can't pay you. I'm broke. I've been paying all these lawyers to clear me of my please give me sex allegations.
Yeah, the little pesty pest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever happened to I mean, I guess you were probably around in New York comedy. What was that guy who kind of got Shane canceled initially?
There's a couple people.
Well, the dude who had that blog.
You talking about the OG like thing?
OG.
That was Seth Simons. He's an LA guy though.
Oh, he is? He wasn't a New York guy ever?
I don't think so. I think he was West Coast LA.
Oh, okay.
There was some.
He was kind of the OG guy who, like, people found out was a comedy canceller, and then he was like a sex pest.
Yes, that was like about a year after the takedown. Like, and during the pandemic, like, people were on Twitter, like throwing shade at that guy.
Yeah.
And that was also like coincidentally when Shane was like picking up steam, getting on Rogan. I think.
Yeah.
There's a couple comics around here. I don't know if they've like mended the bridges, but they were like ex-Philly comics that were with the good comedy people that like were also some of the initial people to throw him under the bus.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if they ever patched the stuff up with him, but I mean, yeah, there was a lot of people. Like, I think it was like for the first year it was very popular to shit on him, and now it's kind of inverted entirely.
100%.
Yeah, it's just very.
180, yeah.
He's like hanging out with fucking Matthew McConaughey at a WWE event. Like, it's.
I'm sure he got an invite. I wonder if he got an invite to the inauguration. It probably was just like, I'm good, but like I
think his whole.
Vaughn was there, and like Rogan. I feel like he's in the mix of like, hey, let's get this guy in here.
I'm sure he's like in contact with their people and stuff. I think it's just for him his whole thing is that he's such a everyman comedian.
Yeah.
Taking a side in anything major.
Yeah, totally.
But one, it limits like what you can make fun of, because now you're like, well, I can't shit on these people because they give me money.
Yeah.
But two, it's just like, yeah, he would like alienate. The thing that people like about him is that he's like kind of making fun of everybody,
totally.
He's also insulated himself from having to have like an actual take on like Gaza.
Yeah. Thank God.
Yeah,
I don't want any. I'm tired.
Bro, Israel's being gay.
Yeah.
Hey, Israel, chill. Dude, chill, Israel.
Guys in their pajamas.
These guys in their pajamas, they're just chilling, man. They're the bros.
Yeah.
Israel.
The dogs.
Yo, being a little gay.
Yeah.
As your boy.
I'm very thankful that not every comic had to do all that, and we got some guys. It is funny. Shane probably has the craziest, like, he drank himself into a major beer sponsorship, which I think is like truly one of the coolest wins you could have.
If he hasn't already, when he gets pancreatitis, it's not gonna be worth it.
He better have like something where he's like, look, I'm signing this contract, but you're covering all my hospital bills when I need a fucking liver transplant.
I know. To drink so much beer that you have like liver problems is insane.
It's crazy. I mean, yeah, he like, and it's crazy too that Bud Light went from like the Dylan, what was the trans person?
Dylan Mulvaney.
To they're like, all right, somebody in that room was like, look, dude, this was a fuck up, but we have an answer. There's this guy who drinks 30 of our beers every time he goes on Rogan.
And Kid Rock likes him. He will not shoot a case, 32 cases of Bud Light with a rocket launcher.
Yeah. We're getting him in, and like, I mean, that call has got to be crazy. You've been drinking this beer your entire life, and they're like, hey, dude, do you want free beer for life? And we'll put you in all our commercials now.
Yeah, I think like it just really kind of. I was like listening to an episode of Matt and Shane where they had Andrew Callahan to bring it all full circle on, and he was saying that Andrew Callahan was saying he was on a plane ride to Austin while a guy was like, "We just got shit," like that worked for Bud Light. He was like, "We just got the Shane sponsorship. It went through," and he was like wigging out like a little girl. Like it was genuinely like this like junior executive was like genuinely just giddy.
Holy shit,
Dude, he's like the dude's Santa Claus. He's Santa Claus for dudes.
it's crazy. It's fucking nuts.
Everybody just wants to sit in his lap and have a Bud Light with him.
Please, Shane. Tell me I'm cool. Tell me I'm so cool.
Tell me I'm not gay.
Tell me
I'm cool.
The dogs. Yeah, dude, it's nuts. But yeah, I feel like the era of the sex pest like reporter is like, it's so funny how like in some ways influential that was in comedy, and then how quickly it's dead now. Like
in what sense? Like it's dead that people don't care about it anymore? Or it's dead that we're not seeing anymore? Because I definitely think journalism will just inherently always be sex pesty to me.
No, but I mean, like, I don't think if a guy came around anymore, like Seth Simons was like doing those blog posts of like this person said this at a comedy show, like who would give a fuck about that? Like, would anybody care?
No, because we're on the other side of the pendulum swing.
Yeah, like it's over. Like that, you can't. I don't think you're going to go back anytime soon to like making sure that guys who say a joke that you didn't like go away.
Yeah, I think it'll go back eventually, but that'll be like post like I don't know when that'll be. It'll be post like Trump stuff and like because we're kind of like veering towards like baby fascism, but we kind of like need it because like homeless people are being dickheads on the train and everything is unaffordable. So like if it just felt like if we just went full send and just had nothing, like we can't talk shit about the government.
Yeah.
Everybody's watching through our phones. I think we would be fine with that as long as we had a definitive answer on what we were as a country.
Yeah. I mean, I do think like that shit always was weird to me too, because it was like, okay, like the jokes it always just felt like, how is this really your biggest issue? Like in the world, this was like a huge issue, you know, is comedy. And then I think the world got so serious so quickly that people were like, okay, yeah, why are we pretending that this is our big issue anymore?
Yeah, because they realized, oh yeah, Trump's like kind of
like this shit is just getting mode. Wild. Yeah. Actually, like real shit is getting wild.
Yeah.
And like this is, you know.
Oh no, yeah, it was 100% just like first world problems type deal where everybody kind of just nitpicked and stuff. Which, like, now that I think we're seeing the other end of it, maybe that wasn't such a bad thing. Maybe there was an equilibrium to be had between what we have now and then what was.
Yeah.
Because you go to, like, an Austin show and everybody's saying gay and retarded. It's like, well, it's not even fun if I do it anymore. You know?
Yeah, they took it from us. They took it from us casual users. The casuals are
the victims
are here.
Well, I always just thought people that the people I feel like the unifying, like, aspect of comedians that I like the thing they all have in common is that like it's like one, I just don't want to have a real job. It's like, all right, check, that's valid. And two, like I like kind of getting away with stuff. I like doing bad stuff and getting away with it and not facing any consequences, which is what like saying like a bad word or something and getting away with it because the joke's funny kind of is.
Yeah.
So that when there's no consequences, it's just like, you know, it's very Nietzschean in a way where we've killed God, we've killed joke God. There's no punishment for being bad.
Yeah.
So it's not even fun anymore.
No, it's definitely not. I mean, yeah, that like the time I went to Austin in 2021, so it was like before the mothership, but it was during the pandemic, and so a lot of people had flocked there because they were like doing, you know, spots and like, I mean, it was just seeing the kind of guy who was going there, and it was like the weirdest like pick me energy, because it was just like, I'm out here, I'm saying all the bad words. One guy like whipped his dick out at a show I was on.
Oh, I had one where I had one that was crazy, but actually I think Michael Rowland had the funniest story. He was telling me about a show he went to, and it's like some guy was just like up there for 4 minutes in Austin, and he was just like just doing that the whole time. He's just like, yeah, I just think this is funny.
Yeah, like no joke.
No joke, just like up there for 4 minutes, like this is just who I am. This is funny to me. And I don't think, like, it wasn't funny what he said in the room and nobody liked it, but just him describing it as, like, that's my, like...
is funny.
That encapsulates Austin comedy for me. So... is a guy doing Chinese eyes just kind of defeated up there, like, I guess we disagree.
I guess some of us will be working as doormen soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm moving up in this world.
The game has changed, folks.
We should make that the thumbnail of us doing Chinese eyes. Austin comedy.
Austin Comedy 101. Yeah, dude, it is. Yeah, I was just like blown away because it was like so. Again, it wasn't even being offended. It was like, bro, this is so sad because like you are all here for a dream that will never happen for you. Like,
well,
like
have you been post Mothership?
No, I haven't been post Mothership.
I will say that the dream is real for some of those people. It's like a.
But it was a dream for 2%. Like, think of how many guys moved there who were like doing the open mics, doing the grind, the Kill Tony grind.
Yeah.
Saying all the things that everybody else was saying, and it just didn't work for them. And now
but they're bad at comedy. It's like if you went there and you sized people up and you were like just even entertain the idea of living up there, you'd be fine. Because it's like if I can just like socially network my way into that, the one kind of good club, because it just vacuums up all of the people in the city.
Right.
It's like it goes like Mothership, then like Creek, because Creek at least offers like alt shows and things that are a little different.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, if you go to the Mothership, like even doing their open mic and stuff, it's like there's people that make like a white boy pilgrimage to it, like it's Mecca. Like that's white boy Mecca.
It is white boy Mecca. It is.
They're on a fucking Hajj from Ohio.
They circle it. They just do this.
I am here to meet Shane Gillis. Sheikh, when can I meet Shane? He is halal. He's alhamdulillah. Shane, he's the prophet.
They're just bowing in front of it 5 times a day.
Yeah, you have to do your set facing the Mothership in Austin.
I will face the Mothership. Yeah, dude, it is.
They have like the prayer callus, but that's just from passing out drunk and like hitting the fucking sidewalk. It's like, oh, you pray like that? It's like, no, I've been fucked up for 5 days since I've been here.
Oh, dude, I haven't eaten. I've just looked at its fucking glow.
Yeah, I remember I used to do a podcast with Robbie Goodwin, and he was an old buddy of like Jeremiah Watkins.
Oh yeah.
So he had Jeremiah on the show. I don't know. This is like a crazy mask off episode for Jeremiah. I started the episode by just joking because I had just been to Austin, and the same day I was like doing pull-ups to work out, and I like broke my nose because I like accidentally like did one too hard and just hit my door frame.
Slammed your
nose bridge into the fucking door.
Damn, I was getting after it, bro.
I was pumped, dude. It was the residual like Austin energy of like I gotta learn how to fight now.
Yeah.
Fuck this comedy. I need to be an MMA fighter.
I have to fuck somebody up.
I have to feed that guy his teeth who said my joke was hack. I have to IP track him and then fucking beat him up at his home in Youngstown, Ohio.
Oh fuck.
But yeah, then I was joking because I had it wasn't like I reset it and everything, but I still had the scab and stuff.
Yeah.
And which fucking should not have done. Go to the ER if you do that. That shit hurt really bad.
Oh, you just did it yourself?
I just did it myself.
Yeah, bro. What the fuck? What the fuck are you doing?
Dude, I'm telling you, I was amped.
You were on one.
I had a good time that trip. And then I came to like podcast and I was like joking because like Robbie's like, what happened to your nose? Like, oh, I got jumped in at the Mothership. That's how you got past there.
Yeah.
And then from then on, Jeremiah was just like being a dickhead the rest of the podcast to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I would ask him a question or something and be like, is this guy gonna interrupt me the whole time? And it's just.
You think it was because he was just so loyal to?
I don't know.
Like, why was
Robbie himself, who'd known that guy for like 10 years, was like, I've never seen him be mean to a person like that. He's like an industry nice guy.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And the episode ended with me like kind of just getting dunked on him by the whole time because I was just trying to be like affable and nice.
Yeah.
So then I kind of did a dickhead thing and pretended like somehow like the thing where he was talking about old Kill Tony story. I just pretended to like be like, oh, you're the saxophone guy. That's where I know you from.
Oh, fuck.
And then he called his Uber as I was saying that and just left the podcast.
No way, really?
Yeah, dude.
God damn.
I think it got covered on Red Bar or at least got sent to him, like the clip of that.
Holy shit.
Red Bar hates that guy.
God damn.
But
yeah. The only when I was in Austin, and again this was pre-Mothership, I did a show and there was like one of these guys who I've definitely seen like in that world at least.
Yeah.
I don't know his name, but I've like, he's like big enough on Instagram where I'm like, oh, I remember this guy. But he was on the show.
Yeah.
And I did my whole set being like, I just came to Austin to suck Joe Rogan's dick. I was like, I can't wait to suck Joe Rogan's dick, And it was going well. Like, people liked it. And, they obviously got it.
Yeah.
And he was just in the corner fucking fuming because I think he was like one of these guys who's like, I did basically come to Austin, like, you're making fun of the shit I came here for, and he was not happy with it.
Yeah, you kind of like, that's his God. That's his patriarch.
Well, he was like, it's like fucking guys like me came here and we want to work the club. We're going to be in the club.
But how do you think he internalized it? Because nobody's usually that self-aware to be like, he's making fun of me right now, and this makes me feel bad because I feel ashamed for what I did. Like, how do you think he?
I think he was probably like, because I feel like at the time I was still living in Portland, and so they probably
thought you were some like liberal.
He probably like the host probably introed me as a guy from Portland, and he was like, look at this fucking libtard, fucking piece of shit.
There it is.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what he was thinking, but it was weird because you can read people's faces when you're on stage, and I'm just looking at this guy who is just like, every time I said it, he's just like, "Oh, you fucking piece of fucking shit! What the fuck?"
Yeah, because they don't get mad when you do it; they get mad when you get away with it, and you get like validation.
That was the thing.
Yeah, that's when
everybody was laughing at it.
Nobody ever like comments on a joke they hate unless it has like thousands of likes and like people are loving it.
Yeah,
be like, yo, bro, that's actually mad intolerant to talk about Dominicans that way, man.
Did you have that?
Race? Yeah, I had
you
that.
had that with your Dominican joke?
Yeah, everybody tried to insinuate like, yo, he probably got like his girl finessed by Dominican. That's what happened, Dude, he like probably.
Is such a good word.
Yeah, he probably got like
he got absolutely.
He got out grinded by a Dominican player. You know what I'm saying?
Was that your first big viral joke?
No, my first big viral joke was like a year before that about the Batman movie in 2022. That was like the first thing I posted that went like viral. I like did a joke basically like about a retarded Batman. I didn't say the word retarded, but I did like the autism voice, and I said like Batman because I was reading an article like written by some dork about how Batman like seems on this one. It's like a very neurodivergent Batman. Yeah, it's just like if you're saying Batman has autism, like any guy that would do that is like kind of autistic.
Of course, yeah.
And just kind of lay it out and do the whole thing. But it was that was the first thing.
Yeah, I remember seeing. I think the Dominican joke was the first one I saw.
Yeah, that was the Batman
so
one
funny.
was on TikTok, and then the Dominican thing was on Instagram.
Yeah, and a bunch of Dominican dudes came in the comments.
Yeah, it somehow got into like the Dominican algorithm.
yeah.
After a while, because at first it was like in the Haitian, like Jamaican, like I had a ton of Haitian and Jamaican guys.
Yeah,
just the Caribbean algorithm.
Yeah.
And I think they sent it all to their Dominican friends, be like, this you gay, bro. And I think like you batty boy, man.
Yeah.
And they then like those people sent it around. I think like it just got sent to people that it started being fed automatically into those people's feeds.
Yeah, that's so great.
And then I sent it to the New Yorker Instagram page, and they reshared it too. And like
the New Yorker did,
not the New Yorker, but like New Yorkers, like that one.
Oh yeah, I was like the New Yorker did not share that.
No.
Bro,
What
the fuck? Yeah. Oh yeah. New Yorkers. The page. Yeah.
They would not share something that nuanced and profound.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Yeah. I sent my special to the guy who covers the New York Times comedy section, just as like, fuck it, and like obviously I never got anything back, but it like when you look at what gets covered through those types of publications in comedy, you're like, truly, I couldn't have less of a chance.
Yeah, I mean, like, I remember going to like one of Roey's shows at the Stand, his Sugar Baby show, and like CNN had booked some girl. Not gonna say her name, but I don't even remember it either. If I wanted to.
Yeah.
But and that girl brought the booker for Fallon with her. Who's like this older guy. And like Roey has his friends also on the show, and I think Soder comes through and does it spot, and like he's like mad. There's like I just don't get it. Stan Soder, I get he's famous and everything, but he just says gay and calls stuff gay, and that's what's funny. But then this girl did a whole set where her whole set was just about she likes to fuck older men and stuff. And then like
you're getting on the Fallon anytime now, girl.
Yeah.
Just one more ride and you'll
like,
be on there.
she was coincidentally the only comic that he liked.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Jesus. That's so funny to think of that level because, like, that part of the industry is so dead, but you still get to hold on to, like, hanging, like, yeah, if you take a ride, you might get on Fallon.
Well, that's the thing that, like, it's the intrusive thought that you're not allowed to articulate out loud because it's so kind of dismissive of regular people that probably have to deal with shit like that. But like in the entertainment industry, everybody is to some degrees smaller, greater, very narcissistic, some people malignantly so. And there's still people doing those things and enabling this kind of behavior that we were supposed to get rid of in 2017.
Yeah.
But there's people still doing it. So that just begs the question, like, are these people that come forward, it's like, are they people that like are inherently just trying to do an altruistically good thing and get somebody that's bad in trouble? Or are they also just people that weren't beneficiaries of that like fucked up system, so they're also kind of just vindictive and bitter about it because they were initially complacent with it because they thought it would advance their career in some way, and then it didn't, and now in retrospect they regret it.
You got names?
No.
You got names that you want to say? Like, I didn't get to fuck my way to the top, so the Me Too movement must happen.
But you just meet, because you meet these people that like, there's some people I met that were like in the public call out, and they were just kind of like in person, like, and I don't want to say this categorically because it's bad, but like I've met some of those people and they were kind of mean, awful, and dismissive people themselves.
Sure.
And it's just like, oh, you might just be a self-serving person that was like trying to like capitalize on other people's misfortune and terrible things that happened to them to try to like garner them to your side to like serve an agenda that's your own.
Yeah, I think it's like
it's just this
it's never, I mean, obviously like the behavior is black and white in terms of like what
it's like something is appropriate and something isn't.
The people involved, you know, it's humans, so there's going to be complexities, and like does everybody have 100% angelic motivations to do X, Y, and Z? Of course not. That's just like who we are. But
because it's kind of like these weird tacit acknowledgments that like people in the entertainment industry are like sometimes psychotic and like bad people that just want to like have power and adulation.
Yeah. It's weird though, because it's like comedy is like, I mean, it is part of the entertainment industry, but it's just like, so it's like not true. It's not like really Hollywood, you know, like obviously
it's like D-list Hollywood.
Yeah. Like bad things clearly have happened in comedy, but it is funny to be like, especially nowadays, to imagine like trying to fuck your way onto Fallon and then be like, what did that even do? Like, what do you...
What was the angle with that late night? Doesn't even like...
If you're trying to blow someone, like, blow the guy who controls the algorithm. Like...
That's the thing, is the algorithm.
Jack off the Instagram CEO and see if he
but
can, like, push...
he's Indian, and I don't want to jerk off an Indian guy. It's an Indian tech CEO, and I don't want to have sex with him because he's Indian.
Oh, man. Yeah. It's... it is so funny to think of, like... I mean, just like the top level of comedy is like, like if you're doing like stadiums, sure. But like so much of comedy is like the best you can ever hope for is like, I headline clubs. I headline like clubs where I'm basically a middleman between people and chicken fingers.
Yeah, I was going to say you're like adjacent to being a waiter.
Yeah.
You're just a really funny waiter that's not helping out his coworkers in his section.
Yeah, you're just like and mad when the checks drop.
Yeah, you're up there talking to the fucking table the whole time, and like everybody else is taking the orders and bringing them out, and you're just chatting away like you don't have a fucking job to do.
Yeah, it's very weird, but
you definitely feel that when you're hosting too. Like hosting, you feel closer to the bar staff and the wait staff than you do the other comedians on the show.
Dude, yeah. I mean, you usually end up at the bar talking to the bartender because you're like, I don't want to be in that green room all day.
Yeah,
like, I'm clearly like,
they're not even gonna listen to anything I say. The best I get is I butt into the conversation and they stonewall me and they go, "Yeah, I guess that doesn't really make sense." It's like, no, I know it doesn't make sense. I was saying a joke. It wasn't supposed to be a true thing.
Yeah,
you know what? Never mind.
I used to do the classic thing of like, because you would hear it on like podcasts and stuff. You're like. I was like, oh, I got to ask for a piece of advice from every headliner I host from. And then, like, you do that 4 times, and then you're just like, they're just like, dude, I remember, who was it? I forget who it was. Oh, well, like, some of them, you know, like, they're literally just, like, so disinterested in you as the host that they, like, come in, they put their headphones on, and they're just like, this is me telling you, do not talk to me while I'm like, and it's like, okay, but like,
I remember
this is your life now. And again, I get it. You've been doing it. Some of these guys have been doing comedy for 30 years, and I, had been doing it for 5, so I get it. But it is like, damn, dude. So like, most of the time you're doing comedy now, you're like kind
not
of
having
miserable.
Fun. Yeah,
like you're literally here to like go on stage, come off stage, put your headphones in, or like kind of just ignore me and ignore kind of everybody around you until literally you hit the stage. And then the other 23 hours you're on this day, you're just like,
that's like an insane narcissist behavior.
It's like, that's just like, even just selfishly, don't you want to just like be a part of it versus that? Like, that sounds awful.
Yeah, but it's like it's an outlook on life where you're like, I'm the only one that has anything to say. I'll
Yeah.
just talk to people when I need to talk to them, and I won't talk to them when I don't want to. And then when it's time for me to talk, everybody else better shut the hell up and let me talk for an hour.
God, have you ever had, I don't know, like, I've never had this, but I've had friends who, like, where the headliner literally goes, hey, man, like, green room's kind of just for me and my boys. I've never had that, but I think that has to, like, that to me is, like, so offensive to just, like, the whole, like, it's like, first of all, like, dude, the host, you've been here, you know how shitty this is. To just have a guy be like, hey, man, the one little place you kind of get just to, like, feel like a comic, we're actually going to take that away from you so me and my boys can, like, kick it here. Like,
yeah, I'm pretty volatile, so I usually, whenever I've been, like, faced with, like, kind of that, not even indifference, just, like, intent and cruelty.
yeah.
Like, where it's not even, like, this vague kind of impersonal response where, like, I'm just a little tired. I can handle that, but when somebody's, like, actively being a dick,
Yeah.
I usually don't respond well to that. I remember there's two instances. This wasn't even like a thing. It was like a guest spot. I just remember Drew Lynch did something like that, and then I just was like, "Oh, okay, get out now!" And then I just left because I had already done my guest spot, and I didn't come back the rest of the weekend, and I got in trouble with the club manager.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, because like he complained.
Of course.
He's faking his stutter. It doesn't even matter.
Yeah, is that confirmed?
I think so.
Because he did cure it.
I think he cured it and had to keep it going.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever, dude. He had his time in the sun.
Wait, so he straight up was like, hey, man, we don't want you in the green room?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Good for you.
I've heard some similar stories from like other people that opened for him. Another thing. I remember, I don't even remember who this was. This was just like a comic that was like sober. And I remember they got mad at me because I was like, hey, do you want to get a drink or something? And he was like, no, I'm sober. I'm like, yeah, you want to relapse? And I like shook a drink in front of him and he got really mad about that. Okay, I was joking.
I feel like the Lynch one, you're cool. The sober one,
I'm just being a dickhead.
You're on like the fence of being a dick. You are a comic, but he also like probably has a crucial alcohol addiction.
Yeah, don't we all? That's how you get through the phase that we're in.
Yeah, well, I don't know. This phase is going on for quite a bit of time.
The sobriety?
Yeah, well, the sobriety is going. I've been sober for a while, but I'm saying this phase of comedy has been going on for quite a bit of time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't have the willpower to do that. There has to be like some sort of like libation or vice to get me through like the open mic parts of this journey.
Yeah, I don't know if that part of the journey is like gonna end anytime soon. I feel like I'm just like kind of like now the last few years I'm in this position where I'm like, okay, like I am doing stuff that like even 5 years ago, I'm like, this is crazy, you know, like I get to headline small clubs and whatever, and I'm on the road and I don't have a day job and that's cool. But like that, the step above where I'm at just seems like truly like so hard
Steep.
To even really have an imagination of like, how do I do this? That like it is just like, damn, I wonder if I'll just be here for like a decade, you know? Like that's where I start to trip out, is like, am I just gonna be like kind of like B-C-list headliner for you never know how long, and then maybe, you know, maybe you're like 45 and someone's like, yo, dude, this guy should get a break? Or is it just like you just kind of stumble forward until you like look back and you're like, all right, this is how it ended up, and like that's just what you had, and like you can't really, you know,
it's so hard because I think like the standard deviation of people in comedy is the middle of the bell curve is people that quit. That's, I think, the reality of it.
Yeah.
And then the left of the bell curve is people that like went to jail, killed themselves, or overdosed trying to do it.
Damn. This is the most brutal bell curve I've ever heard.
Because this is the worst thing to do.
Bulk people is
you got a day job, maybe you quit.
And then so anything to the right of the curve,
if you can make money doing this, I think you're an
success.
outlier. I think it's some small success.
Wow, I never thought about it that way.
I think you should. I started thinking that way because it was explained to me by people that are important to me in my life, because I'm very down on myself a lot.
Yeah.
And I think you're still, if you can make a full-time living, that's an outlier. There's just the steps of being an outlier that are, you know, it goes from, you make a full-time living. That's incredible. You're still struggling because, you know, you have to do breweries and bar shows and set up your own tour dates and like
totally
hustle, plead with people that are like a little bit above you to try to like, get by. And then there's the people that like, for whatever reason, it's just a light year away. It's just, or light years away, not a light year, but like it just an insane gap between that and then just people that have all of the money you could possibly have in this business.
Truly all of the money.
And you'll also meet people, I think it is also relative to like, we meet a lot of outliers. We meet people that have been relatively unimpeded in this business.
Yeah.
They got something huge, like they opened for like Nikki Glazer or whatever, 2 years into comedy.
Right.
They got SNL like at a young age. Like they like all these people that like kind of played the game well, but also were just beneficiaries of serendipity and luck
and breaks and stuff.
And kindness. They had a good vibe.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't control for that shit as much, but it is like, I mean, that is a better way to look at it, I guess, is like, all right, I'm not dead or in jail and I haven't quit, so I am therefore in some way a success. But it is, once you like, okay, yeah, you can live like, in that like gratitude.
How many people, have you started with that have quit though?
Lots.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, we used to play this game when we would go on the road, like back in Portland. We would do like a road, like a one-nighter gig, and we would just like, we would be like, all right, let's try to name every person we can remember who we did comedy with for any like, even a couple weeks, and then quit. And like, it would get into the hundreds.
Yeah, everybody that was mean to me when I was a kid starting out and I wasn't that good, they're all done.
Yeah.
They're all done, and I've done all the podcasts they wanted to do.
Right.
So it's like...
Yeah, it is. I mean, that is true. That's like a good live in the moment gratitude way to look at it. But, the day-to-day life of just like...
Oh, yeah, when you got a bill that comes up.
Yeah, or just like, sometimes like...
You're going up at a club and there's like 5 people there.
And it's like here. And the other thing I'm like running into now is like once you've sometimes like now I'm starting to get to go back to some of the clubs like that I got to headline like a year ago or 2 years ago, so I'm like, oh, I'm in their rotation, which is cool. But then you're like, shit, are these like, am I ever going to get like new avenues to perform in?
It's hard to say, man, because it's like you do clubs and like,
or am I gonna like, even if I come back to this place, like, will I've sold like 20 more tickets, like, will more people come? And all of that shit is like just me like grappling with like the logistics and the business side of this, which I've like not been like a total failure at, but a pretty behind the 8 ball kind of like.
But sometimes you can give them everything they want to and it's still not enough because they themselves as a club that's the experience I had like when I did Fargo like 2 years ago, and like Tommy and I co-headlined and sold it out and had a great time. People like had blasts in the middle of a blizzard, so all the shows were like packed.
Yeah.
And I still haven't been back in 2 years, and like because they just got so successful as a club that so everybody here heard about them and try to do weekends there now,
Totally.
So now you're competing with like cellar guys and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And there's no like bad blood about it because it's just like, at the end of the day, I'm just a guy you like versus a guy that can make you maybe even more money.
Yeah, and that's fair, But the other thing I think that I like, that I think the weirdest, like it's like kind of the most tangible sometimes that I can feel is this like the attitude shift that like people get to experience, I think, is honestly sometimes the thing I get most jealous of just like, I just like sometimes like, I'm just like, damn, dude, that feeling of like always having to fucking ask for something.
It sucks. You feel so gross doing it.
It's like there is, and you do get to see people whose careers go from the one side of the line to the other where they were asking and now they are the asked. That shit, like, dude,
there's some people that do that and they don't perceive it the way you do, where there's no way, like, there's people that ask and they're just so shameless about it.
Yeah.
And it's like, you don't even process any like level of self-resentment or loathing. You're just so on your own team.
Yeah.
You're like, such a big advocate for yourself. You believe in yourself so much.
100% belief in yourself. Well, of course, I should be asking because, like,
I deserve it secretly. And one day I'll be the asked.
Right.
This is just me.
But that, dude, like, where I'm just like, damn, dude, like, it'll be from little shows here in New York to like clubs to whatever. And you're just like, the day that I can go from like me having to send out all these things to some, like, more of it coming in, is like, I think that will be if I get to that point, that would be what I would be most grateful for, because it is, you truly can see comics. You're like, dude, I don't know if you realize how great you have it.
Yeah.
In terms of just like people being like, we want you to do our thing.
I don't know if it ever really goes away though.
I'm sure it doesn't ever go away, but I just feel like I've been in this part of it long enough that I will at least have some appreciation for like.
I think you will, but
wow, I like did so many years on the other side of the fence that getting to that.
Tommy Bear and I call it like waiter brain or poor person brain. It's
Yeah.
just because we both wait tables, but it's really just a poor person thing where it's just like you live in these conditions and like stuff so long that you just permanently changes your brain. Where like I think like we obviously getting stuff improves your mood. Like getting stuff immediately fixes a lot of problems.
Yeah.
And don't ever let anybody tell you otherwise because it does. I've seen it happen to people, and I've seen people's like lives like change overnight. It was like I remember like my good friend like Maddie Wiener, like we started together.
Yeah.
She was like when she first moved to New York, she was doing like for like a month, like she was like doing like prep work and like she was working in a kitchen.
Yeah.
And it was like it's obviously like a hell job and stuff, and like I think she
yeah.
like bet on herself, made the jump to like doing comedy like full time,
Right.
and got out of there pretty quick.
Yeah.
But it's just like, damn, the things she hated and did for a month that was killing her, like I did from like 14 to 22. It's like,
yeah, you are like that man.
like I think I'm stuck that way. I don't think I'll ever really adjust to like the upper echelons of like entertainment circles where people are like, you know, happy, go lucky, optimistic, you know, charismatic. Like I'm forever gonna be like a quiet, kind of off-put, angry guy.
Yeah.
Because it's just you stay that way for so long.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think, you know, you've been in the mud too long to, like, even if you get cleaned
It's
up,
stuck to
people
you,
will still
yeah.
be like, yeah, he's got that.
It's in your bones,
It
dude.
is,
You
it
don't
is in
shake it.
your
It's like
bones.
getting molested.
Yeah.
It's getting molested
You were
by your
molested
job.
by the game,
yeah,
dude.
the game fucked my ass,
Game
tender and raw.
Yes. The game absolutely fucked. Just like waiting on people for a decade just absolutely ruined you.
It blows your cheeks out.
You got Mystic Rivered by the fucking game, man.
It sucks.
It sucks.
I still have like a vivid memory of like I have this scar still on my knuckle, but I cut my finger off to the bone almost.
Oh, fuck.
And I got it reattached, and I went into work the next day and just had to work around kind of having a finger in like a giant cast.
Holy shit.
And it's just like, that sucks.
That sucks, yeah.
When I see somebody complain about like, oh yeah, I did Sisyphus and they promised me $9,000 for the weekend. They only paid me $8,975.
Yeah.
Where's that extra? I'm like, I'll shove my thumb so deep into your fucking eye sockets if you keep telling me this story that you'll see the next life.
Yeah.
I'll kill you. You fucking freak.
Yeah.
Be grateful.
I know. I mean, it's tough. But I mean, I will say, like, as much as I agree with this, there are clearly like moments like that I have, even in this like weird kind of like gray zone of, I won't even say success, but like out of like the true like only open mic level of comedy, that like I know a lot of people look at me and like, I wish I was doing what he's doing. And I'm like, dude, if this, I mean, obviously this should not be your goal, but
yeah.
So even in that, it's like I should remember to be like grateful for this shit, because I know I see guys, I have friends who I'm like,
yeah,
they're not like, they're just as funny as me, but they're not like whatever, you know. So like I've, even in my life, have had breaks that they didn't get, or like whatever. And so I am trying to just be like,
yeah, it's because you have to like look at the big picture, but then there's also the aspect of it's like, what I do, at least to calm myself down, is like, you don't need to be that angry. You were just poor. You didn't go to war.
yeah,
you know, you didn't have to. You didn't get fucking blown up.
You weren't doing like hand-to-hand combat, you know, in the trenches of
You weren't like
Ukraine.
burning out. Like you weren't like, you know, going into the towers as they felt. Like it's not like that big a deal. This is like a dumb.
It's a dumb pursuit.
It's
a
barely an art.
frustrating
I don't think it's an art.
Encompassing pursuit. But you know.
It's just because I didn't feel this way. I had done comedy like 6-7 years, done the road and stuff in North Carolina too, like just working from out there, and didn't feel this way about comedy. I think really what did it was just like moving here.
New York did that to me
and
too.
Being around rich children that just get to do it all the time.
Yeah, or like even if not like just like, I think you forget like when you are outside of New York or LA, I guess, those two markets, like success in Portland or success in like any of these other places that you do it is so like the stratification. Like people in Portland used to get like livid about, we had the annual Portland's Funniest Person.
Yeah,
contest.
Helium does those
Yeah,
contests
so
every year.
Helium does it, and the Portland one is huge. I think it's their biggest one.
And it's that first round of just people that don't do comedy they bring their family, and then you just
every year people would go on the Facebook.
I lost to a girl with cystic fibrosis, and she was filming a documentary about her illness, but she was also kind of like hot and stuff. So there's just a lot of guys there that I think wanted to have sex with her.
Absolutely boned down the cystic fibrosis chick.
And it was just like as she came in, she had like oxygen like under her nose and like a portable like little pack.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, we have her.
Yeah, she's in.
And there's 2 hilarious black guys on the show.
So Wolfgang is out.
Yeah, Wolfgang's gone.
I got to go work my waiter job anyway.
Because that's the one of those competitions are the worst, when the people that made it through are exactly who you predicted.
Yeah.
If you're like, oh no, that person surprised us, or oh, that person brought more people than I thought. But when it's just like him,
yeah,
her.
You're like basically like, hopefully
why'd I even go up there?
Yeah. You got to hope one of them burns the light, and then you're in.
Oh.
But either way, like that was the level of success in Portland and rage in Portland is who would win.
I'm sure
that.
feature work too.
Feature work and kind of who got to work the club a little bit, but even then, and I guess that was maybe the other one is like who won the contest or who got in the finals, and then like who was getting spots at the club.
Yeah,
but think of the how small that is compared to here when you are literally on shows like I've done shows. In 2 years, I've been on shows with like 4 or 5 different current SNL cast members.
Yeah, that's always weird.
You're like, oh, like this person like has a Netflix special, and up until last year, I was living in my van. Like it's just a vibe of like the money and success in New York is so great, the difference between them, that you are like, that's where I think some of the craze comes here. Like, because at the end of the day, like, if you weren't hosting or featuring the club, like, no one ever really was like, people just knew, like, oh, he's funny, though. Like, the club is stupid sometimes. They don't hire the right people.
Yeah, it was because I think all small scenes are like that. But for me, like, I was just surrounded by, like, so many, like, whiz kids and, like, old heads where it's, like, I was also such a volatile, like, just wouldn't take shit from people.
Yeah.
Kind of guy, and did kind of whatever I wanted because I thought waiting was stupid, and like who's funny should get stuff. So I never like working like the club majorly was never like in the cards for me, because it's like if they need a young person, we had Maddie Weiner, she's a beast, like she's gonna crush, and then you had like a string of guys that have just been around a while, so it's like you can't really. They have like tenure. They're like almost like professors.
Yeah, totally.
So it's just like, which is so stupid on my part to think like, all right, I can't even wiggle my way in here. Let's go to the most insane, hard to break into city ever. Yeah. Let's go to Squid Games.
You've been here for 5 years?
4 and some change. It'll be like 5. I like moved end of 2020, beginning of 2021.
Oh, so you also got fucked by the pandemic.
A little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to move here in June of 2020, and like I had it all planned and everything.
It was like a thing where I had an Airbnb here, and then I just moved back home and like got a job for a little while, and then once things kind of like in 2021 cleared up, I came back. So I had like 2 months of like doing mics.
Yeah.
And then
my buddy, when I was
went back to line cooking.
I was going to move out here in 2020, and then like the pandemic hit, and I was talking to a buddy who was living here and a comic here, and he was like, I was like, yeah, dude, I'm going to like wait. Like, I'm not going to move to New York now. Like, this is crazy. And he was like, dude, you could still network. I was like,
it's insane.
Bro, I'm good.
You could have been the guy having the illegal shows and then like been somebody's feature.
Yeah.
There's guys that like snakes their way in through that.
I'm sure, but I was like, I'm not the type of guy who's going to be able to network. Like, that's not who I am.
Oh yeah, dude, same. I'm so retarded. I was at like a bigger comics birthday party at the Stand recently, and I just talked to like the one guy I knew there, and I was just like, what the, just such a. I stole a cigar from a bigger comic. I picked his pocket and gave it to the doorman. It was kind of cool. But I don't know. It's just the social navigating is tough.
Well, what are your like? I don't know. Do you like project? Like, what do you have goal wise? Especially if you're kind of at your 5-year mark. Like, do you see yourself here for another 5 years?
I don't know.
Because you're younger. How old are you?
26, gonna be 27 soon.
Dude,
it's young.
So funny. It's so funny too because you started so young. Forget people who start that.
It'll be 11 years in April.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I mean, I started a few months before my 26th birthday. So I would be like your age, basically,
Starting.
starting comedy.
It's weird to just me. I talk like a 50-year-old man.
Do.
Like, it's over. I maximize my potential.
How young you are. You're not even 30.
I had a hit with a bad combo that kind of giving me like a shitty outlook. I'm trying to like my girlfriend who's a comic too. She's like very optimistic and like works really hard, is really trying to deprogram me, and I'm like, sometimes I feel like I'm just like dragging her to the bottom of the ocean with me, because I was just surrounded by so much like weird generational talent, where I've like met people early on that are like doing big things now, and I was just around. So I worked for Mr. Beast when I was like 19 to 20, and then like they kind of made my job obsolete, so I like, you know, didn't.
Is he a North Carolina guy?
Yeah, he's in Greenville, North Carolina.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and I went to school in Raleigh. My buddy Tarek, like, was his editor and like runs the Instagram and stuff. And like,
damn,
he was a comic too, and he just got us all jobs. Like him and Jake Weddle, this other North Carolina comic, they all got us jobs, and it was so sick. And just like, it was like this first time where like I had money from doing absolute nothing.
Yeah,
you know, just nothing bullshit.
Wow.
All day, and then just having it kind of like stripped away after a second, and then having to go back to the like, I was also just doing full-time like restaurant work while I did that too.
Yeah.
And trying to like, I basically had 3 jobs. I was like doing comedy, which isn't a real job, but you know, you have to do like all the
time consuming.
Yeah, it's time consuming.
Yeah.
Working in my dad's restaurants over the summer, because my dad's like a restaurant guy. And then like working for Beast and like having to do stuff with my friends, which was fun because we were just dicking around in the office all the time, getting paid money to do it.
Damn, Mr. Beast, huh?
Yeah.
Put that on the resume.
Dude, I've tried. It's only worked for one job.
Really?
Most people don't really give a shit about it, I guess.
I mean, I guess if I saw that, I'd be like, what did you really do that would help me?
Well, it's always, I only ever use it for social media jobs.
Really I don't really, I'm like older.
It's just like a flex. It's just like, it's like being like, oh, like I worked for like, you know, I don't know.
Comedy Central.
Comedies. Or I worked for like Bill Burr or something, you know.
Yeah.
I worked for Leonardo DiCaprio. Like, you're just flexing. And it's a good flex for social media jobs, but people really most of the time just want to hire young, bubbly girls for those jobs, because that's kind of like the people that like, I don't know if it's even the best at it. That's just who you want to have the job.
Sure.
You don't want some guy that has like a separate Instagram page with like 70,000 followers where he's like being like, yeah, Dominican guy called me the F slur. Boop, boop, boop.
Well, I mean, yeah, dude, being as young as you are, like, I feel like you know.
I'm trying to just get there's a thing Nick Mullen said one time that like really kind of bummed me out, because it's like how I feel, where he's like, I feel like I just maximized my potential for what like resources I had available to me, to where it's like I couldn't get any funnier where I was at, and there wasn't like any way up. So he was like talking about how he started Come Town or whatever.
Oh, okay.
And it was kind of just like him giving up and like being like, whatever, I'm just gonna stay it. I'm just gonna be bad. And it's like, I'm just trying to find what the thing I'm passionate about is. And for a while, I was making sure that special came out and it looked good and people enjoyed it. And I mean, it's not like doing well right now, but like I think I put out a thing I'm proud of, and I'm happy about that.
Dude. I mean, that's all that fucking matters. You also are like, you know, I mean, YouTube, I feel like you could throw it on and it could get whatever, or it could get none. And like, I don't know. I don't think that.
Yeah, there's retroactive effects on like YouTube too. I mean, whether it does well or not is not really the point. I just kind of want to like be able to, you know, I want to have like enough like stable income that a medical ailment or like an emergency wouldn't like clear me the fuck out.
Right. Totally.
Because it like, to move in the city, it costs like, or anywhere from like around $9,000 to $12,000 to just move apartments if you're like going through by the books. Obviously, if you like move in with people that are already on a lease and stuff, but like we had black mold in our old apartment, and so we had to come here and just do an emergency move, and it cost me like $12,000. It was like a lot of the money I just had saved up.
Holy
like
shit!
Working. It just cleared
me. Oh my god! I guess I'm never moving.
Or just move in with somebody. It's when you have like a girlfriend. It's just like you're a couple like living in a place. You have to just move. You can't dump the other one off and then be like, all right, you go move in with your friend. I'll move in with my friend. You have to get a place together.
Yeah.
And that means you have to go through like a real estate agent or a broker, and like the broker's fee is what kills you, because it's like an insane fee for a guy to be like, yeah, like that's the sink, that's the toilet, and Here, at least, it's like the same guy that is the broker is the property manager, so we call him whenever something's broken.
Yeah.
But it's still like just the fact that it's like you're just handing like $4,000 to a guy to just show you kind of a room and point at stuff.
Dude.
For a house, it makes sense because there's a lot of things you have to go through
Sure.
as a homeowner.
But
like
an apartment is insane that you don't own.
Yeah, you don't own it.
You don't own it, and they're just like, here it is.
There it is.
Yeah, bro. I don't know. It's like, well, you're a young man, but you've done more adult shit than I have. Like, I try to live so, like, low key. Like, I'm like, anytime I move, I'm like, I don't want to be on the lease. I don't want to, like, have any attachment to this place. Like,
yeah, I mean, but that's like why I feel like, you know, you're like a good comic that's like hardworking and like kind of like moving your way up, even if it feels like a war of attrition, because it's like this isn't a thing that's conducive to being responsible. Like your responsibility is this thing.
Yeah, it's hard
and so
to,
everything
like,
else suffers because of it.
Totally. Which
So-
is like weird because you are like, as you get older, you are like, okay, so I'm 37,
Yeah.
and I've been doing it for a
11
couple weeks.
yeah.
Would be 12. I started
12
in
years?
2013, so yeah, it would be 12 years in 2 weeks.
That's so crazy, dude. Yeah, like
So you and I have basically been doing it for almost the
same amount of time.
but
Yeah, I
we're-
started 2014.
Yeah.
But I was like a junior in high school.
Yeah. And I was like, I was like, 4 years into me doing comedy, I was 30.
I know.
It was just like my time scale for all this shit is so crazy because it's like 4 years. It was like, okay, I was like hosting at the club. Maybe I just started featuring or like soon to maybe feature, but it was like the whole I feel like I started comedy in the Ice Age, and like all these kids now are like starting in like literally in like the 2080s. Like it's just completely a different art form. People are like,
well, everything was like Comedy Central based still, like I think when we started.
I mean, really, I was like, I started comedy in the analog age, and then I felt like I watched the digital age come into being, and they're like, hey, all this shit that you learned, like, I've said this shit before, but it's not new, but it's like, literally when I was starting, guys who are older than me were like, all right, so what you're going to do is you're
hang
gonna do
out
comedy for 10 years, and you're going to save every joke, and you're going to put on a comedy album. And that will be like your big break. In 10 years, you can do an album. And then like within, 4 years of me starting comedy, people were like, actually, like we're kind of doing not that ever again.
I know, dude. You like feel like such a puck chasing bitch, dude. You know, but you gotta Wayne Gretzky, man. You gotta figure out where the puck's going.
Yeah, it's very weird.
And the thing is, the guys that figure out where the puck's going always suck so much.
Oh yeah,
dude.
I never am like, hell yeah, I'm glad that
the guy that like
figured out the algorithm.
Yeah, it's not like the thing is like you still have like these like paragons of just killing and being a monster on stage, like Gillis or whoever the fuck that like they, no matter what age they're in, they'll never really need it because they're just so kind of like special that people recognize that X factor.
Yeah, like all that stuff will fall into place around them.
Where it's like if you're a guy trying to figure out your X factor, maybe you're just like there are people that just like it's hustle over like natural talent or whatever.
Yeah.
And that like sucks. You do have to just like kind of be like a on the computer ass bitch, dude. You have to be a geek bitch, like work like you don't want a computer job, so you do comedy. And then you have a computer. Yeah, dude, you're just on a computer all the fucking time. It's so stupid.
I'm sending like all these emails, all these messages. I have a billion lists of all. I'm always checking.
I know you're creating spreadsheets. Like, all right, who didn't I hit up? All right,
bro, it is crazy.
Let me create an algorithm to calculate how annoying it is to hit them up in a. All right. The algorithm says I can only hit them up every year.
You're also like, damn, dude. You have this constant feeling of always being behind.
Oh yeah.
Because you're like you are the one who's in charge of everything, so you make a list of like, hey, I need to hit this person up, I need to do this, I need to do this, and then you just like every day I'm like, okay, I did these things, and and then you just look at the list, you're like, there's so many, and then the list is gonna keep growing.
Yeah, dude.
And then you're just like, damn, I guess this is.
I'm also just getting dumber, dude.
My life.
Yeah.
I just wonder if I'll get. It's not even dumber for me. I'm just like, at some point, I do wonder if I'll just get like.
No, I mean like.
Comfortable. I'm
getting dumber. Like I'm like having trouble. I'm like not as like quick or sharp, and I like say words wrong. And I like slur.
From looking at Instagram.
Dude, I know. I was gonna say like I like Drewski videos a lot. I watch a lot of Drewski.
Yeah, I think it's straight up like I feel my memory is going, and I think it's because I'm just like I've watched so many little videos that it's like
Yeah.
my brain doesn't have space to be
What
like,
I've been doing is like playing the mini games and like Ubisoft games. Like I'll go on to like Assassin's Creed, but I won't even play Assassin's Creed. I'll just play the chess in it.
oh yeah.
So it's like I'm playing a video game in my mind, but really I'm just playing chess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gaining knowledge.
Or just working out the fucking brain and not like looking at like, you know, Skibbity toilet memes and be like, whoa, what if Skibbity toilet was Sam Morril?
Yeah.
He looks like Sam Morril. Ooh, fucking Skibbity toilet. And just doing that for like 30 minutes in my apartment and making my girlfriend hate me.
Well, let's wrap this fucker up, baby. Thanks for coming
Yeah,
on.
dude. Thanks for having me.
Whatever you got.
Yeah, I'm with her on YouTube. You can also follow me on Instagram at Wolfgang_Hunter. I have a lot of followers. They are middle-aged black people that like it when I do little dress-up pretend videos where I'm a monk. So that doesn't really translate into ticket sales. But if you want to join the Wolfgang Nation of proud brothers and sisters fighting the good fight, follow me there. But otherwise, yeah, thanks for having me on, man. It was fun.
Dude. Good to see you. Thanks,
Spin the yarn.
Thanks for listening, guys, and we'll check you out soon.